The government must have possession of those records at all times.
Right, she doesn't get to keep them.
Correct. What she is talking about, she is intentionally conflating what is purely personal with what is obviously governmental. And she has decided what's personal and what's governmental. The statute says the government decides what's personal and what's governmental.
Let me challenge you.
Clinton exchanged some 60,000 emails on her private address. She alone decided that half of them, as they were just discussing, were work-related, and the other half were personal, and she says she wanted to delete all of the personal ones. So those are gone.
And certainly this is something her camp would love to have disappear. But her comments apparently not only stirring the pot. The cover of the New York Post this morning, "Deleter of the free world." That's the headline on the homepage for Politico magazine. Quote, "Go to hell," with the caption, "Hillary Clinton had something to say to the media about her email. It wasn't too subtle," end quote. Chris Direwald, Fox News digital policy editor. He doesn't talk like that. Morning, Reverend, to you. What did the press conference accomplish for her or not?
Well, Brother Bill, she did something very important, which was to tell the press and to tell her fellow Democrats, choose. She offered no excuse. She offered no response. She was quite brazen about saying, what did she say? It was perfectly Clintonian. Chose not to retain. She says, I chose not to retain. Translation, the evidence is gone. You ain't getting it, and I ain't complying. The message to Democrats and the press was, quit asking for more because you're not getting any more. So it's time for you to either choose me, and she made a mention about that she'd rather be attacking Republicans for messing with the president on his Iran nuclear efforts. So she made a very clear comparison, which was, it's time for you to return to where you're supposed to be, which is doing what I tell you, or otherwise you're going to risk having these Republicans in charge.
Yeah, what do Republicans do now, Chris?
Yeah. Well, they have to walk a very fine line because obviously they can't give up. When somebody flouts you, when somebody says, I burned them, they're gone. If Richard Nixon had not said, oh, it was an accident about the 18.5 minutes in the tape, but instead had said, I just destroyed it, where do you go from there? Hillary Clinton's taken that position. For Republicans, if they push too hard, they'll be accused of on a witch hunt, and they're going to be accused of that regardless. But if they push too hard, they'll look that way. But if they don't try, then she's beclowned them along with her party and the press.
What about her argument over convenience that Martha was just talking about?
Oh, come on.
How do you see that?
I see a person who has had a personal attendant by her side since the 1980s. If that person cannot manage two devices, I would say that she has DQ'd herself for the presidency. That was something she just said. That was a thing that she needed. Again, she's not trying to make an argument. She's not trying to make a defense. She's making a partisan statement that says, Democrats and the press, get on board with this. I'm all you've got, and it's either me or some weird Republican. So just shut up and get on board.
Thank you, Chris. Talk to you later. Chris Direwald there in Washington.